Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. We have finally reached the end to our Alfred Hitchcock study. So, we're ending it with 1960s Psycho, again, directed by Hitchcock. We're then covering newly released, now in theaters. We have I Love Boosters, directed by Boots Riley. And then finally, the big one of the week, Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu. And that's directed by Jon Favreau. So, let's get Vincent Daly in the room, hear what he has to say about these films. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Vincent Daly, how are we doing across the table, my friend?
Thomas, how's it going?
You know, kind of unintentionally, but kind of intentionally, a bigger week than you might think.
Yeah.
So we have, a Star Wars film, which we haven't had since... when was
Rise
it?
of Skywalker.
Which was 2019.
Yeah,
Can you believe it's been 7 years?
I guess so. I mean...
It's a long time. I mean, pre-COVID, we're talking Star Wars film.
I definitely feel that. In, wanting to cover Star Wars on the podcast. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
It's a Star Wars movie.
Exactly. But... it's also like it hasn't gone anywhere. It's kind of like Marvel is just like, well, we've been battered with TV shows. Like, there's not been really a rest, for these.
There hasn't been.
Yeah.
There really hasn't been a rest on that. It was funny. I was reading a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It was stats came out on Disney Plus, and the episode 1 through 3, the prequel films, are doing way better and being watched way more.
Oh yeah.
Than episode 6 through 9.
Oh, 100%.
That was a little surprising to me.
No. Well, the internet has completely shifted. The temperature on Star Wars has really abandoned the Disney sequels and kind of turned their opinions around on the prequel
1
trilogy.
through 3,
yeah.
Phantom Menace still has its issues, but I think people kind of look. I think they look on it more fondly now.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the next generation kind of taking up. They've also grown up with other content, the cartoons, Rebels, and whatnot, being tied a little bit more deliberately into the prequels. The temperature on that has fully shifted to the point that my generation and growing up kind of hating on the prequels is on the outs now. It's not cool to hate on the prequels.
Well, I can't wait for in 15 years then for episodes 6 through 9 to be like, maybe we're a little harsh on Rian Johnson.
Last Jedi, wow, what a classic. It'll happen.
Although,
happen.
Classically, Last Jedi was praised by critics when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
It's so disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
We will not get into those, I promise.
I want to. If anything, writing this review for Mandalorian and Grogu, I said to myself, man, I do have a desire, even though the Star Wars movies were kind of rated right before we launched the podcast.
You were taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a desire to make my stamp on all of them.
Will. I mean, we'll wait a little bit till we get a little bit bigger, I think.
Yeah.
We got to keep some of the stuff in the holster. I mean, we're going to redo Lord of the Rings at one point. We shot that way too early. My horrible intro. I mean, it was like...
what are you talking about?
We were trying things. We were trying things. But no, this is our first Star Wars movie, so I wish I could have... we're both so busy right now. I wanted to, have some, I don't know, accoutrement to the episode for us.
A little blue milk, maybe?
I drank those sodas when the movie came. There was even promotional soda, folks, at AMC.
We fell into the marketing.
So I mixed them together both like a little kid.
It's disgusting.
Still couldn't keep me up.
Actually, save that because there's a point in the review that I feel like it plays right into how many times you fell asleep. So,
And then, of course, we are, for the past 3 years, every May, we dip into Alfred Hitchcock once a week.
Yeah.
And we're coming to a close for 1960s Psycho.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a thing.
Absolutely. He does some stuff after Psycho, as I refer to it, and probably even going back to our Birds review.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like Hitchcock's career ends. He goes to TV, and then he does some stuff. He does like why can't I think of his name? James Bond, first James Bond.
Sean Connery?
Yeah, he does a Sean Connery flick in the 70s and whatnot, but all of them are not talked about at all. So it feels like this is like the end, him kind of going out on top, if you will. So,
but a big movie, and I'm excited to cover it. Did watch it, of course.
Nice.
Had to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And your theory leading up to this is that you weren't going to dig Psycho as much as you've heard obviously
exactly.
endless praise.
That's exactly right. And of course we'll get into it. I could almost see it coming from a mile away. I just don't know if it's my movie.
Okay.
And it is a little bit of the Godfather thing, where you
yes.
stay away from it because it's just like, well, it's Psycho. I know it's good.
Yes.
But we've been surprised where that's how we kind of thought about Vertigo, and I'm not a Vertigo guy.
Right. You were aligned with me where I was like, I kind of don't like this movie. And I know that's like a lot of directors' favorite movies, period.
Right. So now because I didn't watch some of the earlier stuff when we were covering Hitchcock, but it's been great getting my feet wet now.
Yeah.
And, just getting a little bit more knowledgeable about the guy. So, any opening notes, any other things to touch on with this, or what do you want to do?
You know me, I was scrambling for some sort of composite name, alternate name for the episode. I don't know why I keep on trying to just mash all the names together. We haven't had a single successful one of that. But I had a lot of words to work with, but no, not even a contender for that.
Okay, so you got nothing. Okay.
I got nothing.
So for our 240th episode, let's jump back to 1960 with our boy Alfie. It's Psycho. We've got some great Alfred Hitchcock blondes in this.
We do.
My girl, Vera Miles.
Yes.
Or Vera Miles, some people say. And what I was shocked most about Psycho, before I just toss it to you, was it really was. I mean, he did get some Oscar nominations, 4 of them.
Yes.
But this was critically very divisive.
Right.
Some people loved it, and some people were like, this is grotesque. Or, there were some I was reading of he's not respecting his audience for this. And I was like, well, that's an interesting one. But definitely, first of all, huge box office success.
Yes.
We should say.
Audience success as well. This might be one of the earliest examples of the critic-audience divide, the variance.
I enjoyed watching it, thinking about, okay, if it was 1960 and I went to the theater to watch this, the wow factor at so many moments would have been like jarring. Would have been very exciting to go see.
Absolutely.
So I get why it did so well. It's just funny to see the critics so split on it, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's similar to the reception with Rope, where it's the slow burn on calling it a great with Hitchcock, but it's also that initial almost they couldn't stomach it a little bit.
Right.
Much more with this than Rope, frankly, because Rope you're not really seeing any
Rope
gore
is
or
pretty
anything like that.
Yeah.
Where this is like birth the slasher.
Yeah. I mean, the music, everything, but why don't you go ahead.
Don't get me started. Bernard Herrmann on this music, man, is so good.
You go ahead and get started. Let's jump into it. What do we have? Set it up at least with Psycho.
Yeah, well, speaking honestly, this whole study, the whole 3 years of the shebang studying Hitchcock, was honestly to see if Psycho would be dethroned from style, acting, music, the sheer iconic nature of the film. I kind of always knew in the back of my head that this would still be at the top, all said and done. And that was really the curiosity. It was kind of making my bones as a reviewer to cover Hitchcock because I had not watched a lot of his films, but I knew that I loved Psycho, and it was a curiosity of saying, like, I don't know, can it be outdone? Is there something better than Psycho?
Can you remember the first time you saw it, Vin?
Oh, I think my mom showed me this when I was a kid. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
I just know where the night terrors came from.
But yeah, no, and I was from the get-go. I mean, obviously, like the hook around the Bates Motel, that's one thing. I was always hooked, and I still am. The first hour being so compelling in its crime spin. That's what I love about this movie.
Okay,
Honestly, all right. All the build, all the setup to it. On top of that, though, it was one of the few rated from Hitchcock, already rated as a must-watch. And my curiosity for this rewatch was very much in the context and the framing of everything we've covered up until this point. And I can confidently say I definitely have a renewed appreciation for this true classic. The legacy of this movie is, of course, beyond massive. but kind of comes with some loose wires, kind of comes with some cleanup needed. Anthony Perkins, who of course plays the iconic Norman Bates, goes on to unsuccessfully star in a total of 3 other sequels, all pretty terrible from what I understand.
He really gives it a go. By the way, the writer, too, really stays with it.
Yeah. And I think he goes on to even direct 3 and 4. I think 4 is like a TV special. Rough.
Yeah.
Director Gus Van Sant also directs a remake in the 90s with Vince Vaughn starring in the role. I mean, if there's anything that I think we should watch after this,
I know.
it's probably that for you.
I know.
Very young Vince Vaughn. And we even got a whole 5 seasons of a show, Bates Motel, running from 2013 to 2017.
Who stars in that?
Actually, I don't know. It was
Okay.
like an A&E production when A&E was still making things. Before they got absorbed into the conglomerate Discovery, Animal Planet reruns of reality show nonsense,
Oh, not big names. Freddie
Yeah.
Highmore, Vera Farmiga, Max. No, okay.
Yeah, who knows?
I thought we had like big stars here on this.
Yeah, 5 seasons,
Yeah.
Not nothing. I do think it's interesting, though, that while Psycho obviously gave birth to a new type of horror movie that we are well familiar with in modern day, it eventually also falls into the same pitfalls so many franchises were doomed to walk. But exactly like we covered in our Horror Origins special, often the original is on a whole nother level, and that is the case here. I mean, maybe out of morbid curiosity, I would check out the sequels, especially because Perkins directs. He kind of pulls like a Nimoy and Shatner with the Star Trek movies, where it's just like they just kind of take the helm. The trust is in the actors that have filled these roles. I don't know.
They are not well loved.
Yeah,
though,
I've heard some real awful stuff. So, Psycho is, of course, the mother of all slashers, presented in black and white and brilliantly burying the lead with a crime setup that keeps its hooks in the audience. Tom, not to sidetrack this early, but what are your thoughts on spoilers since this was your first time watching? Can the twist of this be upheld in modern day?
I knew the twist.
Exactly. I kind of was like, it was a curious thought exercise because I was like, this movie is so iconic and so dependent on the twist as well. How do you save it,
You know what? And it would have to hurt me a little bit if I scored it, But going into it, knowing that, I said, I just have to go in and enjoy this film.
Yeah.
And how do we get there? What's the reveal like? Yada, yada. And it's like, let's sit down still and just watch it.
Yeah.
But absolutely, another thing of like, oh, man, if I was in 1960 in the theater.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Even that just hits so hard.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to appreciate here in that build-up, but... and I'll still kind of do my best to skirt around spoilers, but like even in talking about Anthony Perkins, it is, there are red herrings set up in the film that if you know anything about it, they almost fall flat. They almost like confuse you. This was like when we covered, Friday the 13th. It was just kind of like I knew the twist of that first movie, and then I thought I didn't know the twist, and like just confused myself. There's definitely some potential for here with how much of a history there is. Our story starts with Janet Lee, a receptionist working in Arizona that comes into $40K in cash when she's tasked to deposit it for her client. Preying on her kind of unsuspecting nature, she takes the money and runs, fleeing town hoping to start a new life. This budding career in crime creates a kind of recklessness in her, however, as she pieces together a plan on the spot, letting her paranoia get the best of her along the way. Once nightfall comes, she has to finally take a rest, and the Bates Motel sign shining in the darkness draws her in like a fly to a lantern. Its homely dork of an innkeeper, Norman Bates, is more than happy to accommodate, though, if only she steers clear of his overpossessive mother, who lives gazing down on the motel. Vicious arguments are heard echoing down from the home, but Norman insists she just goes a little mad sometimes. And don't we all go a little mad sometimes? If good old Al tells you to get into the movie theater on time, you better get your ass in seats, folks. If you're unaware, capping off the many marketing gimmicks we've commented on around Hitchcock, I feel like kind of it's not part of the film experience itself. It is a trademark, though. Hitchcock was a marketing man for himself.
Great at it, though. I mean, oh, man. It's so good.
It's something that we've commented on kind of naturally, and this one is the pinnacle of all of it. He gave a disclaimer for audiences to get to the theater promptly at start time so they don't miss anything. Part of the reason for this is the transformative nature of the story in Psycho, which sets up the pieces I just detailed and pays them off with bigger and bigger twists for the second half. I think what works, regardless if you know the twist or not, or have even seen the film as you're taken through, it is a spiral. It's like, wow, things are getting out of control. How is it all going to shake out? Half the shock is seeing how things spiral in that way, and in modern day, it's just a given that you have to see the events leading up to that. We said that I think with North by Northwest or Rear Window, one of the two, but we were like, imagine watching a movie like they did back in the day where it's like
going in halfway. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's unthinkable. To me, though, the first half of this film was always the most enjoyable for its dramatic crime spin. By the 1960s, there were plenty of morally gray stories floating around movies, but I always felt Psycho captured such a realistic depiction of crime, unlike nothing to come before it. There is a temptation to Janet Leigh's character. There is a reasonableness. There is an empathy of like, well, she's clearly doing something wrong, but not only can we imagine ourselves in her shoes with a similar temptation, but how horrifying it is to land in the nest of the Bates Motel. There's a real interesting mix there. And no joke, I mean, when I was showed this, I don't know if I had to peg a year, an age, maybe like 12, 13 or something
that's
like
young,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I watched this, I was like, it was all about the first half. It's all about the build-up for this one. And I feel like that still strikes so true. Like, it's like, I watched this movie, I love the first half of it. It's fantastic.
So basically, with Jeanette Leigh,
yeah,
that's where you're really in on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because really, I mean, that's almost, I don't know, it's approaching almost 2/3 of the film.
Yeah, true.
But that's just the anticipation building.
It's
edge of your seat. Where are we leading to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's how this buries the lead on it feeling like a crime movie and then becomes what we know as a slasher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's so brilliant in like, again, talking about the twist itself. There's something there that I still think it works whether you know it or you don't because of how satisfying that ramp up is. Even if you know the writing's on the wall, that first hour has tension of its own. The cop, for instance, really great scenes. He's just like, he's always looking in the distance and whatnot. Paranoid narration that Janet Leigh has. Or is it Jeanette or Jeanette? Or Jeanette or Janet?
Great idea. Great. Is it Janet?
I think it's Janet.
What did I say, Jeanette?
No,
I was trying to make her classier, I think.
yeah. This is Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So definitely, some commentary there of, she goes on to Halloween, Scream Queens.
Very cool.
Yada, yada. Yeah. So, but on that note, I mean, like many qualities of this, I feel like represent the apex of what we've seen from Hitchcock do leading up to this. The tension of the crime, a cop who I always thought looked like James Woods.
He does look a little bit James Woods.
He's got with the aviators and Schnazzola. I love the aspect of that kind of funneling our character into danger, pushing her into danger. The flawless decision to narrate that inner paranoia in our lead, Janet Leigh's face transforming through the emotions as they rise to the surface. And this is not, again, praising a narration far and few between.
Yeah.
Because usually it's used pretty shittily.
Yes.
Usually it's for exposition. Here, it's a tool to keep the tension up so we're not bored by this like kind of first chunk. But also I think is like very real. There's something that we're able to put ourselves in Leigh's shoes for, everything around the story. The temptation of the money and the desperation, most importantly. Even technical tricks that we've discussed are at their best. A good example are driving sequences in this, looking just leagues better than the rear projection of older films from Hitchcock.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah,
man.
and we've commented on it just like, it was kind of taking me out. I forget what. But
in North by Northwest, even, when he's in the back of the cab and kind of gets taken by the guys.
Oh, the drunk? The drunk
Well, the drunk, absolutely.
So I feel like that is a jumping quality. His collaboration with composer Bernard Herrmann is dialed in. I'm talking razor-sharp violins that are just constantly buzzing through the score.
Synonymous with what we know of today, too.
Yeah.
Almost couldn't get Bernard Herrmann, by the way.
Oh, really?
He was asking for too much money.
Oh.
Yeah, but got him.
I would too. Bernard Herrmann, I mean, I haven't put names on a list. Might be top 10.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, top 10 composers for sure.
That'd be a fun thing to do.
Yeah. I like all of his like old like B-movie sci-fi stuff, like, you know, Day the Earth Stood Still and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's
definitely
like always great, classic stuff.
I think I have to say this now because I can't let this go. When she no pushback. I think there's a problem. When she's driving, right, and just trying to get to point A, point B, cops kind of trying to follow her.
Yep.
When you said narration, even narration around the money, is that when like she's kind of getting ready? She leaves the office, is getting ready and about to go.
Any kind of driving scene, that narration is her kind of inner paranoia. It's her internal voice.
So there's a copy on Amazon that I watched.
Okay.
I think on Prime. Mm-hmm. And when the movie was over, it was a scare shock to see that all the subtitles were like in Chinese or something like that, or like Mandarin or Japanese lettering.
Oh, really?
And there was no narration in those driving scenes, man.
That's crazy.
I hope I haven't lost my mind, and I wasn't like. I just wasn't hearing it for whatever reason.
Well, it's her voice, and then she kind of imagines the other characters that we briefly meet kind of hypothetically talking. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. That was in there.
Okay.
But not long segments. It's little just flashes of. She's got these little scenes that she. Okay.
Exactly. It's basically.
When you say narration, I'm thinking, am I getting? Did I miss story? Like what?
You're expecting the exposition.
Okay, sorry. You tripped me up with that a little bit. Thank God. That was okay.
But I mean, why I praise it is like it takes those little moments, the slow burn of being stuck in the car, and you see how that's eating away at her. And I think again,
it's great. It's
realistic. Great. You know, that's anyone, especially
it's
a rookie criminal. You know what I mean? Just countless little touches. I would say most of all, though, and this is anything kind of piggybacking off of the drawn-outness of those card rides. Among the many thrillers Hitchcock has made, maybe the most important decision here is to have a lot of sequences drawn out in almost like a painstaking detail. A great example is after our kills. There's a lot of cleanup. If slashers are about blood, this is when we see a lot of the blood as well. There is a certain degree of like, we are grounded on the crime side, and that's how it pulls you in. This being an early prototype of the slasher, we're also given weight to feel the consequences of each of the kills. It's not just on to the next one, or a type of one-upsmanship that so many slashers become, of just like gorier, in-your-face kills. I mean, obviously, this is not really like anywhere in the terms of practical effects, you know, and showing that.
Yeah, I could have used a little bit more blood.
Yeah, you want
blood. And I was like, Anthony Perkins' cleanup skills were shit. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, I would be. I mean, he'd really just a couple swipes of the mop and he's good to go.
He is good to go.
What is going on? Are you kidding me?
He's lucky the shower is running already.
Are forensics not a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't he like wipe it with his two fingers at one point?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's just like that's like a gross ass 50s mops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Washes his hands and then he's like drying himself off on his own. It's just, what are we doing here? You know.
That's actually a good point, because you look at like the forensics of what would happen and some of the methods that he does to kind of cover up, and it's just like, is that even flying in 1960? I don't think so. I think detectives are smarter at that point.
But just go back to the era it came out. Still shocking.
Yes, and I think a lot of the times in these Hitchcock films, it's a little choice that he makes. The little choice that matters here is, again, showing those in painstaking
taking
detail.
The time.
Yeah. In a lesser film, I would easily say that's fat to trim. Cut it out in the edit. I don't need to see this, but it makes us sit with it. It makes us feel consequence for it. Now, if I can make a big claim, my big claim at the end of this director study of like all my understanding of Hitchcock kind of leading up to this, I kind of already revealed it this month. His fascination with the audience experience first helps him craft these higher caliber of films. You see him kind of gear more towards maybe even a less artistic way. He's concerned about the experience. He wants the roller coaster ride. You know what I mean? He wants this to be an experience. And I feel like that experiential focus lets him create one of the best roles ever put to screen. I would say what separates his Psycho from the decades of slashers to come is that it is chiefly concerned with how exactly it is revealing itself, and it's revealing the nature of its characters. It's concerned with how that information is leaked to the audience, how we're drip-fed this. Not shock, not awe. It's the slow realization of what's coming around. Anthony Perkins' ability to share the psychology of this character is handled masterfully. Never rushing a moment in dialogue that he can bake a subconscious reaction into. I think one of the best examples is the dinner scene he has with Janet Leigh, with all the taxidermy birds and shadows projecting up around him. His kind of not-so-subtle shifts from naive to being pretty sharp and astute creates an unease that you can almost touch, all while the audience questions who is really the prey in the room. Some of my favorite moments are also where he's under pressure, too. And there's a shot of him that I've always loved, that he's chewing sideways, looking at the registry.
Yeah.
I think this is when, like, the private eye comes there for the first time. And it's so... The shot is so paranoid, and you can see, like, he's cracking under it. Yeah. Like, he's losing it. He's chewing so viciously. The shot itself is also, like... We're looking at the underside of his chin, the shadows projecting in a weird way. Man, it's just like so awesome how like it conjures a feeling of unease with you.
I love dialogue scenes in this so much. When it's just him and another person or just two people at a time. Really enjoy it. I thought the writing was really good in this one.
Yeah.
And like I said, the writer does go on to like do all the other stuff that's not so great.
Right.
But
they don't get off the gravy train.
But
you know?
between that, it is a great just coming together of you have the music down, you've got Hitchcock directing, and again the script really good with his dialogue scenes, and then these two actors, mainly the two with Janet and
Vera.
Well, Anthony Perkins.
Oh, true. Yes.
Yeah, they're great together. Him with the PI is great, her with everything, and she slowly is just losing it more and more, and then if she finally feels comfortable in a way, and I don't know, it's sold really, really well.
Yeah.
He's got great screen presence.
Absolutely.
Love him talking.
It's a shame because, like, he kind of ruined his acting career by latching on too tightly to this character.
Time, yeah.
You know, he became he typecasted himself, basically. And listen, it's a golden performance. I'm not saying that, you know, if I was in his shoes, I'd probably do the same. But, like, it's a shame because this is so monumental, and you can feel it on screen watching the movie for what it is. And then to see that Perkins does nothing after this, pretty much.
Well, just look... You gotta.
He does do some stuff,
okay,
but nothing notable.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta be Roy Scheider. You don't hang around for Jaws 3 and 4. You know,
true.
You gotta go.
Take it from Roy. Kind of peers in a weird way. I would say, you know, to your point about the dialogue, even this being an older film, I feel like it's pretty amazing how his unusual innocence of the character, it doesn't come off corny or inflated. If anything, it comes off a lot more grounded than most psychos put on screen, you know, today.
I think that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah. It's subdued, but all of it is. It's not subdued because of when it was made or how it was made. It's subdued because it's for the message. It's for the experience of the story. So that's the big takeaway. That's 3 years of watching Hitchcock movies. It's about the audience. Folks, this has been a must-watch for as long as I can remember on the ratings. And like I said, for 3 years of doing this massive director's study, was always kind of slightly head-to-head with everything we covered. I was always kind of, you know, is it better than Psycho? No. Ramping into covering this, my application for everything Hitchcock brings to the table has exploded to even greater heights. There are a few of his films, like Rebecca, like even Rear Window that we covered recently, that I could see getting a bump into a true must-watch category, but even if they stayed right where they are, I think this film deserves a bump to illustrate how it stands above a already legendary catalog of work. Hitchcock, 1960 had a 85. We're gonna bump that to an 89.
An 89%? You were loving it that much?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, man!
Always loved this
Whoa,
movie.
this is one of the biggest films we ever covered.
Yeah.
In 240
This
episodes.
is a sweet smell of success, type of moment where it's
Wow.
just like, this has revitalized my love in movies watching this again.
Are you serious? You were
swear to God.
that? You
Swear
were
to God.
that in love with this in this thing?
Swear to God.
An 89%.
you even like just trying to clock it down.
Big score.
That's a big score.
Well, listen, that's 13.
Big score for the Mandalorian and Grogu episode.
Yeah, it might be a roller coaster. We'll see where we land up. So with an 89 on Psycho, so this is 13 Hitchcock films.
Yes.
I think we covered all of them on the podcast now.
No,
correct?
I think more. I want to say 16 because there's some doubles. There we did Man Who Knew Too Much, the
Yeah,
double.
I'm counting those.
Okay. So it's maybe
I mean, unless I'm missing something, unless something's up with the site, I'm getting. Well, let me run down and see if maybe something. I missed something here. Okay, so I'm going to start it from the bottom to the top.
Okay.
So we have two that generally.
Oh, it like ordered on the rankings.
Yeah.
All right, love it.
Two that you generally just like are not a fan of.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which we all have these. I have these with my John Wayne.
Sure.
It's just how it happens.
Yep.
But the two Hitchcock films you're not all that about is The Birds with the 47%. And Vertigo with a 49.
Now the blemish on our entire podcast.
Right, we laugh because how big a names these are, but also it's Hitchcock and these are all big names.
Yeah, true.
So you know what I mean?
True.
Okay.
I stand by it.
Then we actually get into good films here. So your third lowest, I guess you could say, is The Lodger, and you get that at 64%.
Yep.
We then
just kind of simple.
with a 68%, The Man Who Knew Too Much from 56.
Jimmy Stewart.
That was the second time around. With a 71, but now we're getting into quite good films. 71% you gave Notorious. You then have the 1934 version of The Man Who Knew Too Much, the OG.
Oh, yes.
That got a 72%.
Still one of the best movie posters.
And now, I mean, we're really splitting hairs at this point because 71, 72 was 73%, The 39 Steps.
Yep.
78%, Dial M for Murder. 79%, Rope. 80%, North by Northwest. 83%, Rear Window. 84%, Rebecca. And Psycho now with an 89%.
Wow.
So the bell curve is very good with this man.
Yeah. He's got a good batting average.
Who would have known? One of the best known directors, one of the most revered and renowned directors, really did live up to his name. But that's what I have. I mean, I think that's 13, or if I counted correctly.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it. Because
Yeah.
that takes us through, each of the years. But wow.
So great. It was great covering him. These are some big scores, some very good movies, and decades of this man's work as well.
Absolutely. And folks, this was definitely one of the larger, or I should say more kind of spread out director studies that we've done.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we either pack it into 1 week or like a special. Folks, honestly, this was so immensely enjoyable doing this over the last 3 years to kind of study up, brush up on good old Al.
It's great for the podcast. I always say we're making our bones, cutting our teeth on the podcast. We're not coming into this with 3 decades of movie critic experience.
Right.
I mean, we're learning with everybody, basically, you know?
Or there's something floating around online is just like, you're not a real movie critic unless you've watched 5,000 films. And it's just like, well...
Okay, so you're going to say that for a 25-year-old? We're in our early 30s here
Yeah.
with full-time jobs.
Right.
Go F yourself.
Go after yourselves, right.
We're doing the best we can over here.
Yeah.
I did kind of want to put your feet to the fire.
Oh, okay.
And kind of almost right here, right now, decide what are we doing for the upcoming maze in our coming years.
Okay, all right.
But we don't have to.
No.
I don't want to put the pressure on.
I think you...
I've certainly been thinking about it.
We have. I definitely have. You absolutely inspired the Melville May idea.
Yeah, I mean, it just works,
Not
too.
only that, the more I've looked into Melville, he's got cool movies, man, that I actually want to watch. Like, I would make time for it in coming weeks, no less.
In a short period of time. I mean, even you said he's got about 14 total films. That's it.
Exactly. What I think the idea is that if Melville gets May, I would like to maybe create 2 other spots throughout the year that we do other directors as well. Like I said, Kurosawa is a big one.
We got to start doing him for sure.
That's a good one to cut the teeth on. I have no experience, but like Fellini, like Italian directors. We can do other French directors. There's other things here that it's just like would be nice to unpack in like a specific time of year that we return to, or maybe it doesn't make 2 years or 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, Kurosawa would be good. I think Kurosawa and Melville could carry us for a couple years.
Yeah.
for a few years, honestly. And I mean, Kurosawa, you've gone through a lot of films and things like that. I mean, me not. I've been waiting.
Sure.
On the pod, I specifically have not been watching him. Anticipation of us like really going into it. And I want fresh eyes. That's kind of just a guy that doesn't know. Melville, as you know, I have been hitting up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then other than that, we still have John Wayne July. Yeah.
The last remaining. John Wayne sticks around.
But okay, I mean, I'm definitely gunning for Melville, and I just like alliteration as well.
Yeah, it's a lot more marketable, even though Melville is not like a big name per se.
Well,
you know what I mean?
He is, but isn't.
Right.
Maybe a household name, no, but like
right, a film buff name.
Yeah, go talk to those 5,000 watchers or
yeah.
5,000 Club. Okay, Vin, excellent. What a way to end. 89% for Psycho, folks. You can find it in a lot of different places. Go ahead and pick it up. Do you own this on Blu-ray by chance? A little surprised that you don't.
I'm surprised that I don't either.
Well, that's all right. Okay, so let's keep things moving now as we say goodbye to Alfie. And this is a new release. This is called I Love Boosters, directed by Boots Riley.
Yes.
We've covered Boots Riley before, not in the podcast, but he's on the website.
Bingo.
With Sorry to Bother You.
Yep.
Now, you were excited for this? For the life of me, this had a name that I could not stick in my head. The amount of times I had to go back and look up, just like, what are we covering? What is he watching? What? But it's out. It's got a wide release. Maybe talk about what made you interested in it, and at least set up the film. Tell us what it's about.
Yeah. Well, our director here, Boots Riley, is not someone, like you said, we covered directly on the podcast, but we've kind of discussed indirectly, going back to a couple points. Our They Clone Tyrone review, kind of a throwback there.
Yeah.
Our early blaxploitation special. And the reason for all of this is around the style of Afro-surrealism that is found in his work, connecting it to Riley's first movie, Sorry to Bother You, which has a big surrealist kind of ending to it, and as well as his streaming project in between these two works, I Am a Virgo. I'll be honest, his first movie could have maybe used a rewatch, maybe a rescore. As of right now, it stands at a 59. I just remember really, despite loving the satire, not digging that ending at all.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that is a specter that will kind of haunt I Love Boosters. By the end, it's a bit too much. Unfortunately, that same thought really came around to bite me in the ass with this movie, while Boots undeniably has a style worth paying attention to in our modern corporate cinematic landscape, especially with movies like The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right.
This movie is relentless. I mean that, Tom, relentless in introducing more and more wild concepts way too long into the runtime. And it hurts, if not just like outright soils what worked so well in the original kind of idea of this as like a fun fashion kind of heist movie, I Love Boosters is a trippy crime flick that is, believe it or not, equal parts slapstick and satire. I mean slapstick. A lot of the comedy comes from like physical comedy in this, and eventually kind of spilling out by the end as what I could only call an absurdist comedy. As explained by our lead, a booster is someone selling designer clothes as a discount. They could be doing this as a side hustle, sticking it to the man, or merely to get by. Keke Palmer plays Corvette, a aspiring clothing designer resorting to boosting pyramid schemes and pretty much anything but going after her dreams of becoming a real design visionary. The boot of capitalism rests heavy on all of our necks, though. I don't know why I wrote that. Feeling a little jaded myself. Seemingly everyone except Demi Moore, who leads the chic brand Metro Design on the cutting edge of fashion. When Kiki's crew, the Velvet Gang, catch wind of a new line of $100,000 suits, they know it's time for their biggest heist yet. Along the way, discovering countless people jaded by the system, and a little piece of Metro Design's tech that will be key to unraveling a fashion empire. I would say, oddly, I think this movie works much better in its comedy than when it's trying to be anything else, and we'll talk about that in a second, because it's trying to be a lot of things. I found on the positive side of this, it's pretty funny. It's really funny. It's funny in its jaded satire, from everything around the fashion biz to kind of capitalism at large. genuinely funny in its kind of chatter between the girls in the squad. Naomi Aki's in this, and she is just like, her with Kiki are just like effortlessly great. It's just like so funny to see them banter back and forth, whether that's scripted or improv. Like, it all really, really works. I think Keke Palmer was an absolute gem, as expected.
She's like really, she likes acting.
Yeah.
She has no.
That sounds like a backhanded compliment.
No. Sorry. No, she's like genuinely, she loves movies.
Yeah.
She's into film. I think she's on Letterboxd. She's like, she's into it. She's in a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Like working a ton.
An absolute gem. Like, comedically, you see her in interviews. She's electric. That translates very easily on screen. Mm-hmm. I would almost say like she is in some regards like a character actor, because it is just her. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
That you want in a lot of things. That I expected. What I didn't expect was Will Porter, of all people, a comedic goldmine in this unexpectedly.
That is unexpectedly.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not even that big of a Will Porter fan. We've covered him a good couple times now on the podcast, but really great. But folks, while the comedy is the primary flavor, this movie attempts a lot, all at once. Get ready. It wants to be a cool heist flick. Bake in heavy social messages, has a pretty significant emotional arc around the friendship within the Velvet Gang. Worse and worse, throw in some sci-fi, sprinkle in some horror, and pay it all off with a very ambitious but completely unneeded claymation sequence by the end. They're
trying to throw a lot on this.
Yeah. Now,
it's an hour 45 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, you're right. It felt way more than that. Now, all of this could be summed up as the genre fluid aspects of Afro-Surrealism or Surrealism in general. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There is it plays a part in the wildness of it and how it kind of shocks you. But I would say critically, and unfortunately, kind of leaning the whole thing for a negative review here, the movie just does not stop introducing new wild shit to the point that it ruins and distracts from the parts that work. Unlike our director's previous work, it makes some wild swings at first and then just does not stop swinging once for the entire duration of the film. We are constantly introducing new shit. Even if you're on board with how wild the concepts are or out zany and whatnot, there's a degree here. It's like, this is robbing the original hook, the originality of this like fashion heist crime movie. It's just kind of a mess. It is really just a mess.
So basically, you liked the first half, and then it just became more and more and more and more. At some point in the film, something was good, and you were just like, "Can't you just stick with this?"
Yeah.
Like, why do we need to continue? Right?
Absolutely. I mean, even to the points of later in the film, like there are good comedy beats. Again, the Velvet Gang. There's some magic in the banter, whether it's improv or scripted.
Right.
You know, there's really funny moments. In between
it didn't pick
our
a lane.
Sci-fi elements, straight up horror elements, claymation. You know what I mean? It's like
too much.
This is too much, and it's robbing from a satisfying conclusion for these threads that clearly work, and clearly the movie was crafted around. I was gonna write it. I didn't write it. Maybe I'll just say it. I mean, like it really. I'm not shaming anyone, but it really felt like there was like way too much weed in the concept phase of making this movie. Now, mind you, let me hit you with some kind of good and bad that jumped out to me. I'll get the bad out of the way since we're going on the bad side. This had a rough, if not god-awful soundtrack that really cheapened the experience. Yeah, really, really bad. Way too annoying, way too loud in the audio mix. And most of all, plays its main theme way too much. Like 5+ times we hear this song. There came a point that I heard this like opening silly walking tuba line in the main theme, and like I whispered to myself, "Oh no, like no more, please." The amount of slide whistle in this song is both uncalled for and actually disgusting. Like no amount of slide whistle should be in any song. But it's a lot in here.
This is part of its almost slapstick humor.
Yeah,
it's trying to be silly.
Right, it's definitely trying to be silly. I would say I bring this up because when I called out this on a little bit of trailer talk, I called out how excited I was. They cut the music, they cut the trailer to some awesome music.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
A real
bummer.
shame.
Bummer.
Real shame.
Sorry.
No.
You still go. Still go. Go.
I was gonna say on the good side of things.
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen is in it.
Wait, what?
He plays a narrator. He plays a documentary narrator.
Oh my god! Definitely didn't catch that.
It's a small role, right?
yeah.
Okay.
No, I wasn't even aware.
Yeah, no, Viggo Mortensen's in the film.
Look, what a wonderful bridge to positives about the
Yes,
film.
sir.
I would say on the positive side is production. Boots really made a very unique looking movie in a great way. Set designs, costumes, visuals of the film drive home that wild, heightened reality that comes with his projects. The Metro design stores are all one shade of color each. It looks like something out of like Dr. Seuss or something like that.
It does seem very colorful for the whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demi Moore's apartment is on like a 30-degree slant that characters, stumble with. And a lot is done with these sets. I felt there was a lot of inventive stuff done with these sets. It wasn't just like let's make a crazy, looking thing and not do anything with it. Sometimes it's entirely the slapstick joke itself, like Demi Moore's apartment. And other times it's core to kind of like the surrealism or the message of the story. This is what I mean as well about our director's style being worth paying attention to, even though I'm not really digging this movie, because for better or worse, no one has made sets like this, I don't know, since like Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers.
Wow.
Like, what are we talking about here? No one's doing sets like this.
Okay, that's a bold claim. I don't know if that says.
I don't know if that's.
I don't know if you're selling me.
yeah. Because I'm pretty sure that's a nightmare movie. Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Folks, I would say, though, in addition to feeling a lot like his first movie started to bother you, believe it or not, this wasn't too far off in tone and a lot of other things as well. Silliness to last year's Mickey 17. In my opinion, though, just way too many swings, way too late in the story. And genre bending or not, sometimes it's just, it ruins what's going on. Specifically, the sci-fi elements really rob some specific pieces of fun to happen in the story. And that was especially disappointing for me. Sadly, it just kind of becomes a mess by the end, which is really unfortunate since I think so much of the cast and so much of the comedy really did work here. And that's an uphill battle for me. We're going to go ahead and give I Love Boosters a 46.
Ooh, 46%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that mess aspect. I mean,
it totally makes sense.
I came away like there's definitely good within this movie, but
if it just ran with that and just honed in a little bit, probably have something good here.
And would I recommend this to anyone? No, that's why it's south of 50s.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. But okay, well, Boots Riley once again here. What did you get? Do you remember what you gave? Sorry to bother you.
59.
Oh, okay. All right. So 46% for I Love Boosters. I'm sure it'll probably pop up on Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we want to give a thanks to a producer of the episode. So we were talking about last week. Linda Schiller wrote in about the Keystone Cutie. And Linda did. She came in with her monthly donation of a movie ticket this week, Vin, as expected. So, Linda, thank you so much. You have been the most consistent monthly donor we have, the most consistent for a while now. So your movie ticket every month, we appreciate it. It goes very far. And anytime you want to write in, go ahead for it.
Yeah, and we love hearing from you as well. I mean, especially the insight into like the older films and whatnot, the Marlon Brando conversation. Always great to hear from
Still haven't watched that one that she recommended.
Oh, that's true.
But
it's on the list.
Linda, you are an executive producer of episode 240. And folks listening out there, if you know the deal, if you don't know the deal, just remember we are completely producer supported here at the Daily Ratings. So we're not going to have any advertising breaks and take an ad break between every single film. We're not going to do the Patreon thing, like the payment tier structure, where we force you to give us a certain amount of money a month, and then you get our content or bonus content, specialty stuff. We don't want to go down that road. everybody's getting a little bit different value from the daily ratings than everybody else. Everybody's finances are also different. And that's why we're going off of the value for value model. So are you finding the podcast valuable? The website valuable? Are you checking in, seeing if a movie's worth a watch? You like hearing Vin's take on something, whether it be every week or every once in a while. We look at that as value in your pocket. So can you send us value back in our pocket? That's what value for value is all about. So it's all through your monetary donations coming in that support us, that help keep this thing going. And when you do donate in, you become an actual, legitimate, credited producer of the daily ratings. Just like in Hollywood, when you financially support a project, you're a producer of the project. And that's how we're doing it here. So if you head to thedailyratings.com, please stop by that donations tab, and everything is laid out there for you. Your monetary support, big or small, really does go a long way. Vin and I have monthly costs. We have yearly costs to keep this thing going. Of course, we love doing this. It's a lot of time as well that goes into it. We enjoy ourselves, but are you enjoying it as well? So again, we're not going to set you with a Patreon and make you pay money or anything like that. All the content is out there, but are you finding it valuable? So please do head to thedailyratings.com, head to that donations tab. And also, if you become a producer, send in a producer note. We want to hear from you. We want to bring you into the conversation, hear what you have to say, have to ask. So please ask us anything, say anything, start a conversation or add to a conversation that we've got going on here. If you're going to produce, we definitely want to hear from you. So you can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. That's our email address. So as soon as you send in a donation, hit us up there, send that, and we'll address it. We'll read it right here in the producer thanks segment. If you want to be anonymous, just say, hey, keep me anonymous, and we will, of course, honor that. But again, it does go a long way for us. We really do appreciate it. And remember, you won't get ads here. You won't get ads or pop-up ads on the website. We won't berate you with that kind of stuff. Just if you're using it, if you're enjoying it, if you're having a good time hanging out week after week, do please stop by thedailyratings.com. Okay, Vin, it's the big one.
It's the big one.
It's Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu. I always want to say in my head Mandalorian verse Grogu, but it's just not how,
that'd be interesting.
Not how the content
sequel.
works. You know,
Maybe
not how it
the
comes
sequel.
down. And you know what I really realized too? Me and Mando, we're kind of the same. We're just a bunch of general freelance contractors out there. You know, I hope he pays his quarterly taxes on time.
Get ahead of fees.
But that's what we are. I think doesn't even say. I think he says I'm a contractor in this.
I think he does.
He does. He says something along the lines.
What is a painter but a bounty hunter? You know.
That's so true. I am hunting that bounty. But Mando is back. This is the first film, as we said, in the big screen since 2019. Now, next May, we have Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling coming out. So no matter if this does good or bad, if that schedule's not changing, I don't think anyway. And Pedro Pascal is back.
Wait, who's directing Starfighter again?
I'll look that up real quick for you.
Oh, I think it's Sean Levy.
It's not. Well, it's definitely not Jon Favreau.
Okay, yeah, right. Who knows if he's a good director to this?
But with Mando, we've
Chef 2?
Nice. With Mando, we had director Sean Levy, correct?
Oh, that's terrible.
Okay, I mean, it could be Ryan Johnson. I mean, what do you want? It's like,
what do you want? Disney.
But this has been Jon Favreau's baby, as far as, like, he's done a lot in the MCU, but he took on Mando for season 1 and continued on for the next seasons. Season 1 was very well received, and I know I watched it, liked it, and my understanding is 2 was and then 3 was Is that about right?
That is about right.
I mean, we're a review podcast, but I think that's a pretty good review of
I'll
the show.
I'll give a little bit more rundown, but
okay.
that is the breezy. There's the breezy side of it.
And this has been on the books for a while, making a film.
Yeah.
So even when people were souring on it, it kind of didn't matter. This was a thing going to happen. So listen, I mean, this is what we have: Pedro Pascal, we have Baby Yoda, and just some offshoots of people. It's not like a huge cast for a Star Wars film.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
true. That's a good point.
It's pretty contained.
Yeah, that's good. And just a lot of CGI characters. Bottom line,
right? Exactly. So very interesting. It did come out. It's been a whirlwind of critic hate. And also anticipation, and then souring on the anticipation, but
and then kind of almost a critic counter push of just like, it's fun, you know. And I just like, that's where like movie discussions go to die,
right?
You know?
It was getting to a point for me. It's like, can we just get it already?
Yeah,
because it's been popular. I mean, I've been doing the news show now for almost a year and a half, and it was just always lurking around, and I'm just ready for it. And here we have it. We went to go see a late showing together. Very late. I think it was like a 10 o'clock showing.
I think that's gonna be the last late showing we see.
Okay. All right, speak for yourself. It's Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu. Please set it up. Take it away a bit.
Well, What can I say? I'm so excited. I get to review a real Star Wars movie on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what do you mean? This isn't a real Star Wars movie? Wait, you're telling me this is actually just 3 Mandalorian episodes recut into a feature-length movie? Wait, you're telling me Dave Filoni is writing and there's more summer reading to catch up on than goddamn Marvel movies? This was unbelievable how much this wasn't like the Star Wars movie I wanted to first crack into on the podcast.
It wasn't a slam bam movie, was it?
No. Folks, as has kind of been the talk around this as we started the episode with, it's been a whopping 7 years since we've gotten to Star Wars movies in theaters. The result is something that so clearly belongs on Disney Plus. It might as well be called Mandalorian Season 4. I mean, this is we've talked about this aspect of like belongs on streaming. It's a streaming movie bumped up. We've talked about it specifically with Disney, with Moana. No, not Moana. Moana 2.
Yeah.
And different things punched up to theaters. Originally I was just happy to see Jon Favreau get a chance to bring this idea to the big screen because he has been from the very beginning. And I always think Favreau's heart is in the right place as a director. Anytime I listen to an interview with this guy, I like him. Yeah, I like him. It goes back to Swingers,
Right.
But I would not be surprised at all if Papa Disney swooped in after seeing, the numbers to previous direct-to-streaming projects do better once they were bumped to theaters and bump this up to a theatrical release. That really just seems like the playbook of what happened with this.
I don't think... No, did you read that? No. This was a proper theater thing the entire time. Yeah, this has been in the works for a while.
Then I think in concept phase, the idea of the story, the beats of the story, I mean, certainly you can agree that like the story actually flows like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like the peaks and valleys of like how the pacing is, how it comes out.
Oh yeah, it's not strong.
Yeah, no, it's 3 episodes. It's the opening 3 episodes to season 4. Now, I'll talk about
what this should become. This should become like the what is the Sherlock Holmes with Benjamin Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Where you wait a year and a half, but you get 3 really good episodes.
Sure.
That's what this should become.
Absolutely. And yeah, not in movie theaters.
Right.
Not soiling the Star Wars experience in movie theaters. I'll talk about the story in a second, but I can honestly say it doesn't matter at all. In a word, inconsequential. Inconsequential is the review. Maybe this is a good thing for the longevity of this movie. As instead of being saddled with a lot of setup and setting up more stuff and sequels and tie-ins, it really is just a big-ass episode. And part of why I say this, as a huge Star Wars fan, the Mandalorian track record has been real messy as of late. Each of the seasons, like we just talked about, has kind of a ramp down in quality and kind of big chunks, especially for the 3rd season. The deeper we go, the more we get pulled into Dave Filoni's corner of the franchise, which he likes pulling his own references from the shit that he's worked on. And worst of all, critical story moments are scattered between streaming projects. Most of all, Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett have like critical moments to what Grogu's doing, what's Mando doing, and they're in just entirely different streaming projects. That is
it's tough.
Horrible.
I mean, I get if you're a huge fan to have everything interconnected. It's great if you're a huge fan.
Sure.
But if you're the casual watcher and just want to turn on a Star Wars thing,
it's the summer reading.
It's the homework, the summer reading thing.
Yes.
Real quick before you go, I do want to put a stamp on Dave Filoni and just tell him who he is. So Dave, no, not in a joking way.
You're gonna tell him who he is.
Dave Filoni is now going to basically be taking up the reins after Kathleen Kennedy.
Yes.
When when Disney bought out Lucasfilms and got all the IP, Kathleen Kennedy was in charge of basically Lucasfilms now over at Disney. And she was helming the project. She has a lot of hate. Her tenure did not helm things very well, which is what is the ongoing thing for most fans, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Dave Filoni is now stepping into the creative role. They brought somebody else in and brought them up more to take care of more financial stuff.
Okay.
Dave Filoni definitely, though, is still going to be controlling a lot.
Creative lead.
That Kathleen Kennedy was. And a lot of people are much more excited about him than Kathleen Kennedy because this guy is a nerd. This guy is about the material.
Oh, yeah, he's a Star Wars mega fan.
For sure.
Yeah.
And he's had some dealings with the Clone Wars and everything like that. He's been around for the past 2 decades as far as Star Wars goes.
Yep.
He's not an old guy. But anyway, so he is, like Vin said, he co-wrote this. He's also now creatively have his hands in a lot of pots. So that's who Dave Filoni is, a big player in the world of Star Wars for the next coming years.
And it's interesting fan reactions to Filoni because you'd think because he is a fan, he's one of us, you know what I mean, that it would be an easy win. There are some people, and I can't believe people are defending Kathleen Kennedy, but kind of saying no. Kathleen Kennedy brought about Andor. Yes,
oh please! I mean, I just can't.
There's some interesting conversations going on, and I don't understand why because I think both have problems.
I know,
to them.
And some people like black licorice. I'm just not one of them. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think Andor is worth the sequel.
Right. Think about what that statement says.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Regardless, Filoni and his ties to the things that he's worked on, mainly Clone Wars and Rebels and like other, more kind of the kid-friendly side of what's been pumped out with Star Wars. He ties a lot of that in. If there's any slip in season 1 to 2 and then season 2 into 3, it's for Filoni's kind of meddling to it.
Ooh, okay.
And I've joked before on the podcast, I kind of mean it. I still call Grogu Baby Yoda because by the point we've learned his name in the show's not worth watching anymore. So he's Baby Yoda. Imagine how much better this would be. The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
It's not better.
I think it's better.
It sounds like Filoni just needs to stick to the real kid stuff.
Yeah.
It's not better, by the way.
You're sticking. You can't let me leave the room.
No.
You can't let me leave the recording session with believing that's a better title for the movie. I would say most disappointing for me here, though, was the squandered opportunity to right the ship with the movie. As messy and as disjointed and loose wires The Mandalorian has been, a big movie could have overridden so much of what stumbled before it, but nope, we, once again, basically get a 3-episode preview of a season 4 that who knows will come. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu is a space bounty hunting adventure that sees our favorite silver and green duo once again dive into the criminal underworld of the Far Rim to make friends and dangerous enemies as always. Taking place in the same transitional era of the series, the post-Empire galaxy struggles to establish law and order as the New Republic sources alliances to maintain control. Mando and Baby Yoda are yet another tool to hunt down the remnants of the Empire, and for the right price, willing to take out every bad guy in their deck of cards. As a link to get further information on Imperial fugitives, Mando takes yet another dip into the cesspool of crime, this time to work with the treacherous Hutt leaders, the Twins. They ask the duo to track down the last remaining heir to Jabba Hutt's throne, his son Rhoda, who is tangled up with a coliseum of death matches. A split decision will put Mando on the wrong side of the Twins, however, and force Grogu into the line of fire if he wants to save his adopted Beskar-coded father. Folks, though I've already dumped a lot of criticism on this project already, the actual main issue with this movie is all around pacing. And here's where I bring up the ugly truth of us seeing a 10 o'clock showing. Tom, how many times do you think you actually fell asleep here? I counted 3.
Okay, all right. Maybe you should pay attention watching the movie next time. That's right.
I'm all right. This was worth sleeping.
I was dozing off and on. So how many times? You know what I mean? So it's not just like I fell asleep and then woke up and that was good to go. It was I was checking in once in a while. The second act of the film was rough for me. To the point where
I missed a chunk.
I did. I missed a lot in the second act. First act, I was all the way good. And the final act, I was basically all there.
Yeah, true.
But that second act, I fluttered in and out maybe half a dozen times. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I feel like I got the most of it. I remember at one point, I tried. I really tried to stay up.
Yeah.
But I felt...
You had your tricks? You had the candy?
I had candy and everything. I had to mix the sodas together, the freaking Mandalorian sodas I mixed together. Terrible tasting, but I chugged through it.
Yeah.
But I felt I was just like I started to doze. And I was like, come on, go get through it. Just couldn't do it. But I got the beginning, got the end, and some of the second.
There we go. And what is a movie but the beginning, the end, and some of the second? But I mean, I don't fault you for falling asleep because the pacing was like really massive peaks and valleys. We get the same ramp of 3 individual episodes in that there's a slow startup into a ramped action scene, like Mandalorian episodes as kind of these sci-fi westerns are structured. And when I say this was 3 episodes of the TV show spliced together, that's no joke, to the point that as you're watching, you can feel the story settle and rest in the way that a normal episode of any show, no less than Mando, would happen. Now, that doesn't mean that this didn't have some decent moments. If anything, I think these 3 mini climaxes to the story do kind of pay off with big flashy set pieces. But there are large swaths of the runtime that are either, one, entirely too slow for the fun action-adventure film this is going for, or 2, insultingly obvious that they belong to the start of an episode and not 3/4 into the movie. We won't get into spoilers, but there's the one that you were picking up the phone with, at kind of again 3/4 into the movie, there's kind of just a restart, and sure it's cute, but it's like this is almost unacceptable.
Checking your watch, it's like, hey, let's go.
Exactly.
Can we keep it going here?
A little bit less of a spoiler is after he's kind of first done with Road to the Hut and all this Hut nonsense, all this criminal syndicate nonsense. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take some time off in my settlement. I'm gonna go and make some macaroni for Grogu or something like that. And it's just like, what? Is the movie ending or no? Like, what is happening? It's really bad. I mean, critically, why this movie was not good is because of pacing. It's not because of all the nerd shit or the Filoni stuff. I mean, that definitely comes into play of like what the experience is.
Yes.
But like, this was a bad movie because of its pacing and this structure.
It's 2 hours and 12 minutes, and it was very straight. It's just too many slow bits to it.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, the dialogue wasn't great. It just wasn't It just wasn't built well. It wasn't built well.
Exactly. It composed or composited, however you want to view like the craft of pulling a movie together and making an experience.
I want it to be Star Wars. I want it to be a ramp up. I want it to be I don't know if I'm an edge on the seat, for Star Wars, but I want to get close to it at least.
Absolutely.
And you're right. The way it just sinks you back down. It's like, because when the end finally comes, I'm just a little drained a little bit. Let's get it over with here.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Honestly, I mean, not for the quality of like what that sequence is, the second lull, if you will, but that second lull should have been cut out because it is ramping to a point of just like, all right,
let's make it shorter.
Yeah, it would have been shorter.
A lot of fat to trim there.
Absolutely. Now, believe me, there are things that I liked about this, and we'll get to that in just a second. But we've got to stomach some more bad first. Mainly Sigourney Weaver, completely useless, unnecessary, and it's been floating around the internet. There's not an original thought to me. Really, some suspicions that she was an AI. She was like a face, deep fake.
Oh, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
You think about that X-wing scene.
I think
real fixed.
First of all, God bless Sigourney Weaver. Okay, she's padding her stats. She's like, how do I get attached to another sci-fi film franchise?
It's all the sci-fi,
and she's managing to do
the most successful typecasting possible.
It's fantastic, honestly. The amount of stuff she's in, fantastic. Good for her. She made it in the Star Wars, but she had the flattest.
Oh my God!
She wasn't given much to do.
It was like 3 scenes,
so I can blame it on other people. But at the same time, what she did with what she got, whoa boy,
it was so
flat. And then at the end, I mean, I laughed. It's just ridiculous looking. This is so ridiculous.
It was like the early bird special of X-wing squadrons. Just like, what? Why are we wheeling out the geriatric fighter pilots?
It was unreal.
Yeah, so bad. If I can go even a little bit farther, I hate to say it, folks, Grogu was kind of unnecessary as well. I mean, obviously, that's probably selling the most tickets at all, to see cute Grogu moments. as far as like substance to the story, again, this is inconsequential. There is really nothing here that you're walking away with, even hyped. You know, it doesn't have to be tacky tie-ins. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here and say like, oh, I want sequel baggage, or I want, you know what I mean? I want tie into other franchises. No, but like there is something to be. I'm craving a worthwhile story of like what is Grogu even doing in this movie?
He does some stuff. What does he do in the show? I mean, what am I supposed to be?
Well,
I mean, come on, he's supposed to be the cute thing that does something once in a while with some superpowers.
Fair.
A little Butch Cassidy Sundance kid. I mean, that's all we got going on here.
That's all wild. Oh, held on by a thread just because of a cowboy theming. But yeah, I don't know. I had a problem.
Isn't his job to stand there and be cute? That's his job.
Well, not to dive into like too much of like the show itself, but there's a time that Grogu is seen as like, wow, this is like an anomaly of the Force, kind of like an asset. You know what I mean? That's season 1. He's an asset.
You sure?
You know. The fact that nothing is done with that, we're around Hutts, we're around the Twins, supposed to be the most vicious criminal syndicate in this era of the galaxy. They're not looking at Grogu and saying like, oh, hey, we got a Force user here. You know what I mean? There's nothing.
That's not okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. Even if their intention was not to make a bombshell development with these characters, there is just more of a priority to tie in Dave Filoni projects than ever. I'm a bit too old to give Rebels or Clone Wars a serious watch, but this has more meaningful arcs for characters of those shows than the show that this movie is based on. This one's based on a show, Dave. We can tie it into this show. We don't need your other shows. It's ridiculous. And don't get me started on Dave's ridiculous wink and nod cameos in this. Like, seriously, it's the most obvious shit possible. He's wearing a cowboy hat and drinking a glass of neon blue Gatorade in this.
Yeah, his thing is the cowboy hat, folks. He has this, like this felt cowboy hat that he's a big fan of.
So bad. I joked to you after it, but I kind of came back to it when writing the notes for this. It was like, we have covered so many Hitchcock movies and have never talked about his cameos. So tasteful in comparison to this.
I don't know if we actually ever talked about that.
Yeah.
So, folks, we must have. I just assumed that we mentioned it. But Alfred Hitchcock is in every single one of his films.
Yes.
Every single one. And it's always just a very funny tiny little cameo here or there.
In Psycho, he's facing traffic. He doesn't even show his face. Dave Filoni in this is like, partner.
Right.
I hated the blue Gatorade glass. It was just like, why was that part of the set? Why was that part of the set?
Let's come on, it's blue drink. That's what people do at Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars bar.
Yeah, right. Star Wars bar equals
Gatorade.
blue drink. I agree. Cut it.
Okay.
Now, I'm really shitting on this. But listen, as inconsequential as the story might be, as much as it fails to be a thrilling adventure with stakes and emotion, my Star Wars brain did enjoy some stuff. So I'm just going to rattle off some stuff.
Yeah, please do. Go.
Real quick. We do get an awesome first sequence with Mando. It works like a mini bounty hunter loop. I loved that sequence quite a bit. Not because of like, hey, look, it's an AT-AT. You see it from the trailer, but it's just like, there was just something that I feel like I wanted that to almost just be the whole movie, you know what I mean? I just wanted that one loop,
There was something there.
Yeah. Ludwig Göransson comes back to compose the soundtrack after much greener pastures than Disney, like, Oscar-winning pastures. And the boy did not slack on this. This is a pretty wild soundtrack, no less for a Star Wars movie, but just kind of in general. I don't know if it's like the most listenable thing. People online are like, "Oh, this song slaps." I think it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting movie or interesting soundtrack to have for Star Wars. We get voice acting performances from Steve Blum and motherfucking Martin Scorsese.
Yep.
Voicing characters in this. I was like, "What? This is so crazy." Stylistically, I really enjoy some touches of just like the Mandalorian universe. The little Mandalorian lore, if you will. I just love post-Empire design. I think it is so cool. It pushes what the original trilogy focused on as the used sci-fi aesthetic so much further. Stormtroopers are just like covered in filth. Droids are composite made up from parts of every generation. There are 2 big robots towards the end that are animated in stop motion by the legend himself, Phil Tippett.
Really?
Yeah, those are stop motion. I didn't know that watching it. I found it out after the fact.
It's kind of a shame that it is. Like, yeah, no one's going to know that.
Yeah, right. Yes.
I mean, maybe
but it looks pretty good.
No, I guess it's that good. I guess it's that good. Interesting. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's very weird addition.
It's just like, wow, what an interesting little choice. And, best of all, they brought back Babu Frick. I mean, come on.
Who's Babu Frick?
Oh, you should know Babu Frick.
Oh, those little guys.
Yeah, he's your favorite. He's from your favorite Star Wars.
All right. I don't even know what that means. Okay.
You know what that means.
I mean, I'm throwing around a lot of slanders here. I don't know. They're the little guys.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
He says funny things.
But there's like 4 of them. There's 4 Fricks.
Yeah, there's 4 Babu Fricks.
They should start making those movies, like Minions, basically.
They are Minions.
Yeah, they are.
Damn. Don't give them ideas.
Filoni should call me, Filoni.
Filoni.
Talk to me.
Speed dial.
Anything else that you like?
No, but that just like all this stuff, like I wanted to like this movie. As much as I hate when people say like, oh, it was fun. I had fun with it. I don't know what's wrong with everyone else.
Yeah.
No, that's not the point here. The point is I wanted to like it. I think there was gems. There was gems tying back to Jon Favreau. Just like, again, I hear him in interviews. I say, this guy cares. He's not a corporate plug.
Yeah, I just wish he made better movies.
Exactly. I wish this was a movie, instead of a compilation.
By the way, I mean, the biggest voice acting, by the way, was Jeremy Allen White playing Rudder the Hutt.
Yes.
So he was kind of the biggest thing.
Yes.
Just
I would say I cut some of my notes on him. I would say just pretty lackluster when it comes to
just whatever.
Yeah. Not exactly a Sigourney Weaver delivery in this.
No, not
but
at
also
all.
not like anything.
Not superb. He did a little bit of something different with his voice, but yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah. As I sat down to write this review, though, folks, I seriously had to think about where this placed itself among other Star Wars movies, and if anything, in the wake of what we just talked about at the start of the review, that there's a lot of the internet that has recently shifted opinions on the prequels, on all Star Wars. There has been a cultural or generational shift in, what the reception of these movies are. I would say, unlike the Easter egg callbacks of Solo or the fanfare of Rogue One, for the first time, this really felt optional for a Star Wars watching experience. Hell, optional to even watch depending on what they do with Mando moving forward. I feel like there's some potential clawback here if nothing happens really with Mando after this. And honestly, that screamed out one very specific score to me louder than any others. We're going to go ahead and give The Mandalorian and Grogu a 50 on the dot.
Oh my God, a 50? Really?
Yeah.
Really? I'm almost surprised you liked it that much.
I think by that review, I clearly didn't like it, but I feel like what that 50 is almost, I'm going to hate to say this, almost back to like Five Nights at Freddy's or something like that. It's if the fans want it, you take it. You know what I mean? It's optional. It's add-on content.
Okay, great point for something with the fans as well.
Yeah.
My guy is Sherwin. A big Star Wars guy, gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Wow.
And I said,
we're always putting him on blast.
I said 7.5? And he goes, well, listen, I think it's a 7. He goes, but I want, it's Star Wars. It's 7.5 for me. So even he has that, I want to love it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So he gave it a pretty good score, but he's a fan. I think he's just happy to be in the theater watching a Star Wars movie and it's Mando.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I definitely experienced that same type of anxiety of just like, man, there's things I really like in this, but they don't amount to almost anything.
But critically speaking, as far as the structure of the film is damaging it so much.
Yes.
So, 50%, I think that's very, this makes sense. I think if you gave it in the 60s, we'd have an issue. I was kind of thinking, 40s and 50s for you.
Yeah.
The question is, was it going to be above or below it? Like, how upset were you? The idea, and what we got was nothing. The answer is yes, because you gave it a clean 50.
It is the true center of the puddle, because it's just like, watch it if you want kind of thing.
We were driving away from the movie theater, and I couldn't help but think about George C. Scott in the hospital. He screams out the window and he goes, "We cure nothing. We heal nothing." I mean, that's what this is.
This is
Filoni is nothing. Yeah, he's curing nothing as far as the Kathleen Kennedy era.
Oh, man.
All right, so a 50% for Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu. And next year, like I said, literally 12 months from now, we will get Star Wars Starfighter with Mia Goth and Ryan Gosling.
What's up with them launching it in May if they're not going to do it on May 4th? May the 4th be with you.
Well, because this is the holiday weekend. So you're not thinking you got to put your business cap on there.
Business cap is not on.
Okay.
Business cap is not on. You're so right.
By the way, this
Memorial Day is basically like a Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, it opened summer up.
Yeah, true.
It is the opening. It was early May is still not quite there.
I actually didn't bring the cap for this episode. So.
So anyway, that's what we got going on here. It actually had a pretty good opening weekend. I mean, if you include Monday, it made $102 million.
Yep.
I think it's at over 200 million worldwide now. It's surprisingly, it's going to be okay. I think
that's the slippery slope though with these Disney made for streaming projects pumped to theaters. The money talks, so they say, okay, well, people want them. You know what I mean?
They're not going to do another film.
Yeah.
They will not do another film. I can see them doing another season. They're not going to do it. They have too much in the pipeline already. They need to. They have a schedule that's way far out.
Yeah, true.
Starfighter,
that's a good point.
Starfighter is the next big one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's panned yet. Well, I'm not even going to do it. There's 7 Star Wars projects kind of in the air.
Yeah.
And now that Kathleen Kennedy is out, Filoni is in, we'll see how that structure changes.
Yeah.
But they do want to restart a thing. The Rey film is very much happening. And apparently that's actually definitely a go.
Okay.
So I don't know when we'll get that. And way back when we were supposed to get Rogue One, a Star Wars story, then we got Solo, a Star Wars story, and we were supposed to get Vader, a Star Wars story. I don't know where that is either. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And hopefully Mando, just stick it on Disney Plus. We're fine.
Yeah.
Do another season if you want. End it.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. Looking at these scores, anything you want to touch on, add on, highlight, what do we got for us? Roll
I really
credits
loved
next
this week. I did.
Yeah.
This was, I mean, as much as
you said you were re-encouraged by film or something like that, watching Psycho.
I really was. I was reinvigorated by film, like a sweet smell of success moment. I was just like, oh wow, there's something.
Which is funny because you've seen the movie before. Like Sweet Smell of Success, you hadn't watched.
Right, that was like
prior.
a discovery thing.
Yeah.
But no, I'm telling you, this was good, and like even
this was good.
It built up the courage to really shit on Star Wars, and despite me loving Star Wars so much, so
that's what happens. Well, the film is the film. You can't change that.
yeah. No, that's when we become a shill and we start taking ad revenue for Disney. All right, next week we got Backrooms. Pretty hyped. Both like
It's tracking really
on
well
the internet, in the space that this YouTuber creator comes from, but also in like straight up real life. I've had, I want to say, like 7 people reach out to me saying, yo, you going to see Backrooms?
It's weird how good it's kind of being talked about.
Yeah,
no?
and a lot of those people, maybe they know relatively what Backrooms is, but not like rabid fans or anything like that.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So A24, by the way, they're saying this is tracking to be A24's best opening and it's going to blow Civil War out of the water. Apparently,
Wow.
And it might be A24's like highest grossing film, which is crazy.
I can imagine that. And then horror always does numbers. Yeah.
Excited for it though.
So we don't necessarily have a focus on the YouTube creator aspect of it. It's very cool that A24 gave the reins to this like 20-year-old kid
He's
or
like
whatever.
21 years old.
Yeah, it's
This
crazy.
director, YouTube
so
kid.
that's awesome. More so, I want to do some theming around kind of horror that was spawned from internet. So Backrooms, of course, is liminal horror. We'll talk about it plenty on the next episode. We're also going to be covering Exit 8, a Japanese liminal horror around a subway.
What are you saying?
Liminal.
Liminal horror.
Yeah, liminal horror. Basically, a room that looks creepy and is off for some reason, and that's kind of the dread that comes from the horror.
Oh, interesting. So that's a subgenre going on online right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I would say since maybe like 2018, and that's where the Backrooms comes from. The Backroom comes from like internet forums.
Yeah, all right.
And whatnot. So, also, this gives us an excuse to circle back on Markiplier with Iron Lung. Pretty successful indie movie from earlier this year. We didn't cover it, and I feel like it just kind of fits. Not that Iron Lung is liminal horror, but it is definitely in kind of the space of horror born from the internet. So, excited for next week.
Okay, Vin, thank you so much. We're excited for that. And folks at home here, we'll run it down one more time. We've got Psycho, big one with an 89%. Then I Love Boosters with a 46%. And Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu with a 50%. Folks, always a blast hanging out week after week. I'll be back on Tuesday for the new show. And we'll have Vincent Daly back here in the chair next Thursday on the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. And just a reminder that the Daily Ratings is completely producer supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com, and while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.